Okay, so I just reached it in the end of round 4 for our little neck. And it looks pretty even. So we're going to do the last round for her neck, which is going to be 10 increases. So an increase in every stitch around, which is going to leave you with 20 stitches around. And this is going to give it some stability and look more like a deer neck. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Go ahead and leave a tail and cut. Be right back. Dara, it's okay. I'm talking to myself. It's okay. You want to come in here? Here, you can say hi. You want to say hi? This is Dara. No jump. He is my Australian Shepherd Great Pyrenees mix. Did you just come in from outside? You seem kind of cold. Yeah. He's my pretty boy. No. If you're gonna go lay down. Go lay down in the corner. Go lay down in the corner. See, Mom's safe. Go lay down in the corner. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pull that through. And then you can, it depends upon how you like to do things. You can wait until you have all the pieces and sew all the pieces together at once, but I like to sew them on as I go. And so we're going to find a spot on the pickle that doesn't have a bump, but I think I made that spot for the legs. Either for the head or for the legs, it doesn't matter. You can sew over a bump. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the spaces that I have over here for the legs. And I'm just gonna use this and sew over it and sew the head on. Is what I think I'm going to do. You can take a little bit of stuffing and we're going to stuff the neck. Does not take a whole lot. There we go. Okay. Right there. And we're just going to go ahead and sew the head onto the body. He finally settled down and went and laid down. You know what? Pretty straight. I'm just going to take our needle and poke it through the base of the neck and that little lip. Through that and through the body and come back out. And we're just going to do that all the way around. Sometimes the string gets caught up on the bumps. sewed all the way around. And I just personally like to go through the sew job and make a little securing knot. Just like I do when closing up. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to hide the tails. Or tail, I should say. We're going to hide it throughout the pickle and back up through the head. Cut off any extra. And we have a headed pickle. So far so good. So cute. This is the part where my second youngest says that it looks like a duck. So right now we have a pickle duck. Hold on, let's see if I can zoom out. There we go. It's a pickle duck. A duck pickle. But at last, it cannot stay that way. And so we're going to go ahead and work on the ears. I told you guys that I would get this tutorial out by the weekend, and all week long I've had a migraine. Well, it turned into a migraine one day out of the week. The rest it's been a headache. And so I haven't really worked on the tutorial, and today's Friday. So, to be a woman of my word, I am busting my booty to get this out. So we only have the ears, the legs, and the tail left to do, and so on. So, let us crochet on. Okay, so we're going to stick that aside for now. And still with our brown yarn, and I think my dog is now laying on my yarn. Are you laying on my yarn? Was he laying on my yarn? It had fallen off the table. You're laying on my yarn. So we're going to go ahead and make the ears. That's why it had fallen off the table. I didn't pull from the middle. Oopsie. So we're going to work on the ears. We're going to make 2 of them. They are both made the exact same way. And still using our 3.75mm hook. And our brown yarn. We are going to make a magic ring. And inside that magic ring, we are going to do 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and shrink up that magic ring. Next, we're going to do 5 increases, which is going to bring us up to 10 stitches around. Whoa. Apparently wanted to strangle my finger. So, stitch marker in the first stitch. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 'I don't think I got the very first single crochet. But we all know mistakes happen. No, I didn't. Good thing it's just one round. So let's try that again, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I can do 9 and 10. 9 and 10. Okay, so round 3, we're going to just single crochet around for 10 stitches. So go ahead and do your 1 round of single crochets, and I will meet back with you when I've reached the end of round 3. Okay, so I have my round 3 done with 10 single crochets around. So round 4 is going to be 1 single crochet and then an increase. So 1, and then an increase. We're going to do that 5 times, which is going to bring us into 15 single crochets in the round. 1, increase. 1, 1 increase, 1, and the last stitch is going to be an increase. And then for the next 2 rounds, round 5 and round 6, you're just going to single crochet around. You're still going to end rounds 5 and 6 with 15 single crochets. So go ahead and crochet your 1 stitch in every spot around for 2 rounds, and I will meet you back up at the end of round 6. Okay, so I am finishing up round 6. Oops, my yarn split. Finishing up round 6, and then let's go on to round 7. In round 7, we're going to do 1 single crochet and then a decrease. So 1, and decrease, 1, decrease, 1, decrease, 1, decrease, 1. We have 2 single crochets left from the previous round. We're going to go ahead and decrease. There we go. And then that took us down to 10 stitches around. And in rounds 8 and 9, we are just going to single crochet in every stitch around. And so for 2 rounds, we're going to do 10 single crochets. So go ahead and do those 2 rounds, and I will meet you back up at the end of round 9. Okay, so here I am at the end of round 9, and when you flatten your ear, this is what it looks like. When we sew it on, we're going to have it flat and then sew the 2 ends together, and it's going to look like that. How cute! Cute little ear. So, end of round 9. Go ahead and slip stitch into the first single crochet, chain 1, and we're going to leave a tail long enough for sewing. And if you want to wait until you're done with both ears, you can. But since I'm going to meet up with you when you're done with your second ear, I'm just going to show you what we're going to do to each of the ears. I'm just going to sew them shut flat, back and forth. From one side to the other. And then we're going to fold it so there's like a little divot, a little ear canal maybe. And we're going to sew it shut that way and get ready to sew it on when we have both ears done. So go ahead, rewind the video if you need to, and make your second ear, and I will meet back up with you when I am done with my second ear and when you're done with your second ear, and I have the bottom sewn so we can sew it onto our deer's head. See you in a little bit. Okay, so now we should have our 2 ears, and they should have been folded flat and then folded corner to corner and sewn shut. Now we're going to take our deer and we are going to sew on the deer ears. Let's see if I can zoom out. Haha! Okay, so now we're going to sew on the deer's ears next. And let's see. And then we're going to sew the ears about 3 to 4 rows back from the eye. So 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go through 1, 2, 3 stitches. I don't like that placement, so we're probably going to go through 2 stitches. Let's see, where is that? 1, 2, 3. So we're going to start off 4 rows back, right behind the eye. And we're just going to sew around that ear and lock it into place. We're going to go into a loop of the ear. Okay. And then back through the head. And we're just going to do that all the way around. Through the ear and then through the head. Back up through the ear. And then back down into the head. We're going to do it all the way around. That was about half of the ear. Okay. Now we've made it all the way around the ear. And placement looks good. So now we're just going to secure it. And go under the ear and put a little knot. And since we're working on a body part that has two, I'm going to stick the tail through the head. I'm just going to leave it there for now. And then I'm going to get my second ear. I'm going to sew it on. And we're going to line it up. one right behind the eye. Sorry, put the ear right behind the ear. That makes sense. And put the ear right behind the eye. Line it up to the fourth row like the last one. And we're going to come through this back stitch of the head. And start sewing it on. Through the ear. Back into the head. Back into the ear. Back into the head. Careful not to get your tail wrapped around its face. So cute. Dear kisses. Alright, and they seem nice and secure now. So I'm just going to do that little knot. And then I'm going to poke it through the same hole the other string came out of. I'm just going to tie it for extra security. Cut it a bit shorter. Take the back of my yarn needle and just poke the knot and the tails into the back of its head. Even coming from the side, grab it, move it around. And now we have the ears. Can I zoom out anymore? Nope. So I'll just do this. So now we have the ears. And now all I need to do is show you guys how to make the front legs, the back legs, and the tail. Hey, and our little pickle deer will be done. She's so cute. So cute. Stay. This tripod is not being nice. I gave it a home and it's not being nice. Okay. So we have all that done. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna make the front legs. So, where's my black yarn? It's hiding from me. For the legs, we're going to start from the bottom up. And so we need the black yarn for her little hooves. And if you've seen my TikTok video, you'd know that she's been sitting up on my shelf with all my other stuffies that I have made. I am slowly but surely making a whole bunch of different kinds of stuffies because this spring I plan on doing a vendor booth at our local so I can do them at my farmer's market, and I can also do them at like arts and crafts shows. I haven't decided if I want to do both or if I just want to do one or the other, but I do know that I want to do a vendor booth this year. So I have been making plushies. So we're gonna do the front legs. We're going to still be using our 3.75 millimeter hook, and we are gonna start off with our black yarn, and we're gonna do a magic ring, and in that magic ring, chain 1 and 6 single crochets into that magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Take the tail of your magic ring, pull it, and round 2 we're going to do 6 increases, so an increase in every stitch around. Well, that's going to be really hard to see for a lot of folk. It's almost hard for me to see. So 1 single crochet, stitch marker, back into the same stitch. I'm gonna hide my tail along the way. 2, next stitch, and increase. 3 and 4, next stitch, and increase. 5 and 6. Next stitch an increase, 7 and 8. Next stitch another increase, 9, 10. Okay, and in our last stitch, one last increase, 11, 12. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to round 3. Round 3, we're gonna be working in back loops only. Boy, oh boy, did I make this hard. Black yarn, trying to separate front and back loops. But we can do it. I know we can. I'm gonna have to charge that light. So, back loops only, or back loop only, we're going to crochet 12 single crochets around. And then in the last stitch of this round, we're gonna switch to our brown yarn. And I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I got one of my hairs stuck in there. 9, 10, 11, and 12. We're going to go in the back loop of the 12th stitch. We're going to yarn over and we're going to bring it through, but we're not going to yarn over and finish the stitch. What we're going to do instead is we are going to snip it. We're going to take our brown yarn, we're going to fold it over so there's kind of a loop on it, and we're going to pull that through the 2 loops that are on our hook. We can go ahead and just make a very loose but firm knot. I like to double knot it to secure it in place. And that's how we go ahead and do our yarn switch. And so from doing it in the back loops only, it's gone ahead and kind of made it stand up, basically. Just like a hoof should. So we are going to move on to round 4, and in round 4 we are going to do 1 single crochet and then a decrease. And I do like to try and hide my tails as I crochet along. But when you're in a decrease round, it's hard to do. You can only do it in the full stitches, because the invisible decrease, we only take those front loops. So through the front loop, yarn under and through the next front loop, yarn under and through. Got 3 loops. Go ahead and pull through all 3. So 1, I forgot to tuck my tail behind there. 1, we're going to decrease, it's so hard to see, there it is, decrease, 1, and decrease, 1, and here we are in our last 2 stitches. We're going to go ahead and decrease. Okie dokie. So round 5 is our next round. At the end of round 4, we should have had 8 single crochet. Round 5, and we're just going to single crochet around. So we're just going to make 8 single crochets around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So in round 6, we are going to do 2 single crochets and then a decrease. And we're going to do that twice, which will give us 6 stitches. So 1, 2, and a decrease, 1, 2, and then a decrease. Now for round 7 through 14. we're gonna just single crochet 6 around. So for 8 rounds, we're going to, I cannot math today. For 8 rounds, we're going to do 6 single crochets around. And because it's such a small opening, you're gonna want to stuff along the way. So like every 2 to 3 rounds, you're gonna want to just put a little stuffing in. I mean, you can wait until the very end, and I have done that. My first couple ones that I made, but the hooves ended up being really, really poofy. So that took a lot of work to get them to look normal again. So go ahead and do your 8 rounds of 6 single crochets around. Okay, and I will meet you back when we are done with round 14. Okay, so I have just finished round 14 of the front leg, and it now looks like this. Bottom's mostly flat to help her stand. Like I said, you're gonna want to work on stuffing the leg every 2 to 3 rounds, which is what I did. So we're going to go ahead and in the next stitch after round 14, go ahead and slip stitch, chain 1, cut a tail for sewing, pull it through, and you're just going to want to repeat that rounds 1 through 14. Go ahead and rewind it if you need a refresher, and that will make your second front leg. And once you're done with that and I'm done making mine, I will go ahead and meet you back here, and we will sew them onto the deer. Okay, so now I have both my front legs done. So we're gonna grab our deer again and our yarn needle. We're gonna go ahead and sew our legs onto our deer. I'm gonna be playing yarn chicken with this tail. I can just feel it in my bones. And so we're gonna bring one leg to the edge, but not quite over the edge of our deer. And since these are the front legs, we're gonna do it towards the front edge. Ow. And I don't know if you can really see it, but the way we made the foot, there's gonna be kind of like a taper towards the front. And that little taper, one side's gonna be flat, and the other side's gonna kind of taper downward like a hoof. You want that pointed towards the deer's head. And we're just gonna sew this leg on, just like we did the head and the ears. Really playing yarn chicken. And I think I'm gonna make it. Because I only have 2 left. It's 1 stitch. Here's the other. We're going to go through. We're going to tighten that up. She's going to stand beautifully. I'm going to go ahead. I think I might do one more on this side. Bring it out towards a bump. Excuse me. got it through. We're going to go ahead and just do that security knot that I like to do. Really plain yarn chicken. Just gonna go ahead and do it like this. There's more than one way to make a knot. And then we're gonna hide off that tail. Other leg. And this one's tail is just a tad bit longer, so I don't have to worry about playing yarn chicken. Not my favorite game. So we're gonna go ahead and make it about got a bump right there, so we're gonna just have to work around it. We want that taper towards the front, that way it looks like a hoof. And you can pin it in place if you want to. But I don't think it's necessary to. I do on bigger projects. But on her, I like the ability to move it around. Kind of gives it life if it's not like perfect. And she's already a character. Why not give her a little bit more character? And so your feet are pretty even there. we're going to go ahead and behind these two bumps, we're going to do a little scary knot. And then go and hide this tail. I normally would have tied the two tails together. And for the legs and hid the tie up in the body. But that other one was so short. I don't think I even would have been able to tie it. Go ahead and cut that off. And we are almost done. We just have the back legs to do and her tail. So, getting there, getting there, getting there. So, for the back legs, we are gonna start off. Oh, why did I grab my big one? We need that one. And we need black and brown. So we're gonna start off with black. You're gonna make two back legs, of course. And we're gonna start off with the magic ring. Inside the magic ring, we're gonna do 6 single crochets, chain 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that is round 1. Round 2, we're going to do 6 increases. So in every stitch from round 1, we're going to put 2 single crochets, which is going to leave us totaling 12. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So in round 3, a lot like with the front legs, we are going to single crochet in the back loops only for round 3. And we're going to do 12 single crochets in the back loops only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and we have 12, but don't finish that one all the way. You go ahead and grab your brown, and we're going to go ahead and change to brown to finish off the leg. So go ahead and secure those stitches with a not overly tight knot, just loosely. And we are going to do 2 rounds, so rounds 4 and 5 of just single crochet around. And I'm going to hide my tail as I go. One, 2, 3, 4, and that is what we're just going to do for rounds 4 and 5. And I will meet you back here at the end of round 5. You should still have 12 single crochets in that round. Okay, so I finished rounds 4 and 5. And next in round 6, we are going to do 4 single crochets and a decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. And we're going to do that 2 times. So that was 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease makes 2. Okay, so round 7 and 8, we are just going to single crochet around for 2 rounds. So I will meet you back up at the end of round 8, our second round of just single crochets, and we will move on to the next step. Okay, so here I made it to the end of round 8, and round 7, round 6, 7, and 8 were all 10 single crochets in each round. So you're going to end with 10 single crochets by round 8. Round 9, we're going to go ahead and do 7 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a decrease. And then we'll end the round with just 1 single crochet. And then in round 10, we're going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to do a decrease. And 1 single crochet. And that's going to make it the leg and kind of bend like a dog's and a deer's, and like quite a few mammals' back legs. So rounds 11 through 16, we're just going to single crochet around. And in each of those rows, you should have 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that was round 11. You're going to do 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. The last remaining 5. All the same, just single crochets around. Should have 8 single crochets in each row. Sorry, not row, round. And then I will... Well, now is probably a good time to stuff it. Probably should have stuffed it a while ago. Or started stuffing it a while ago. And just like the front leg, this one's not as narrow as the front legs are. But they still are pretty narrow. So you're probably going to want to stuff as you go. You could probably get away with like every 4 rows or something like that, since these ones aren't as narrow. I'm going to flatten that bottom up a little bit. Here we go. It's got a nice taper to it. So go ahead and do the next 5 rounds. Single crochet, 8 single crochet in each round. And I will meet you back up at the end. Oops, went flying. Flying to your leg. Anyways, I will meet you back up at the end of round 16. And we'll fasten off and sew it onto our pickle deer. Okay, so I have reached the end of round 16. I'm going to put a little bit more stuffing in her leg. Okay. So now at the end of round 16, you're going to go ahead and slip stitch into that first stitch, chain 1, cut a tail, pull it through. And then you're going to go and make another one before we start sewing them on. So go ahead and rewind it. I'm going to try and do thumbnails, and that way you can just click on them. Click on the body part, and you'll be able to get right to it. But if I can't figure that out, because this is technically my first in-depth tutorial, if I can't figure it out, I'm sorry, I tried. I'll figure it out eventually, I'm sure. Go ahead and rewind it and make the second back leg. Once that's made, I will meet back up with you to sew it on her body, and then we will work on the tail together and be done with our pickle deer. Okay, so I have both my legs done. Over there. So now we're gonna sew them to the body of our pickle deer. And much like the front ones, you're gonna see a little taper, and we're gonna want that taper to point towards the front of the deer. And this one's probably, yep, I'm gonna go over a bump. And that's okay, because I can't stick it anywhere else. And it look okay, maybe there. I can do the other one there. Yeah, that'll work. I'm gonna go ahead and thread our yarn needle. And place that taper towards the front. And just like everything else. I don't want it to go through the bum. We're going to sew from leg down to body. And all the way around. She's already standing so cute. So cute. And this leg is now sewn on. So I'm going to do my little secure knot. And hide it. And because I don't have short tails this time, whoa, pulled a little too tight, legs went crazy. Because I don't have short tails this time, I can poke it through. And we will tie them off. And hide them when I get the second leg sewn on. And then all we're going to have to do is the tail. There's the taper. And it is going to fit right in between those two bumps perfectly. Perfectly. So we're just going to finish sewing on the second leg. And I will meet back up with you when you have the second leg done. And we will start on the final part, the tail. Okay, so I do have her all appendages except for the tail. I mean, I really do like the cocoa brown on her. But, oh no. This brown, more deer-like to me, I think. But either way, she's cute. I wanted to try her in a darker brown. Okay, so our last piece is going to be the tail. And for the tail, I'm still going to be using the 3.75 millimeter hook. What I do with my white yarn. And because she is a white-tailed deer, we're gonna need our brown and a little bit of white. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna start off our tail with round 1 and do 6 single crochets into a magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then round 2, we're going to do 1 single crochet and then an increase. And so, whoa! Oh my goodness. This tripod. Okay, hopefully it won't fall over anymore. I can hope. Okay, and so we did 6 single crochets into the magic ring. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet and an increase. And we are going to do that 3 times, but where's my stitch marker? We're going to do it 3 times, but we are going to do a color change after the first 4 stitches. And so that was 1. Then we're going to do an increase. 2. 3. And then a 1 single crochet, but we're not going to finish it. It's going to make our 4th. And we're going to switch to white. And we're going to go ahead and that was 1. So we're going to increase in the next. 1, 2, 1 single crochet in the next, and then increase in the next, and we're going to switch back to brown after our second increase stitch. And so don't finish that single crochet, bring our brown back up and finish it with the brown. And there is what's going to be the bottom part of her tail. Now round 3, in brown we're going to do 1 single crochet and an increase and do that twice. In the last stitch of our second increase, we're then going to switch to white. So 1 single crochet. So 1 single crochet. And then an increase. 1, 2, 1 single crochet. and then an increase. But in that last single crochet with the increase, do not finish it with the brown. We're going to bring the white back up, and we're going to finish it with the white. Pull that brown a little snug. And then we are going to continue the same pattern, 1 single crochet and an increase 2 more times. And then we'll finish with a single crochet. And in that single crochet, we're going to switch back to brown. So 1 moment and I will work that with you. Okay, and so we're going to go ahead and do 1 single crochet. And then an increase. One single crochet. And then an increase. And our last stitch for that round is going to be 1 single crochet. We're going to start it in white, but then we're going to finish it in the brown. Okay, so far that's how our tail is going to be looking. In rounds 4, 5, and 6, we're gonna just single crochet around. The first 6 stitches are gonna be in brown, and the last 7 are gonna be in white. And you should have a total of 13 stitches. So I'm gonna do the first round with you. So 1 single crochet, two, three, 4, 5, and 6, but don't finish it all the way with the brown. We're going to bring our white back up and finish the 6th stitch off with white, but it's still a brown stitch. And then we're going to go ahead and do the last 7 single crochets in white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, but we're not going to finish in the 7th stitch in white. We're going to grab the brown and finish it off in brown. And so that is the repeat for the next 2 rounds. If you need any help with it, I would recommend rewinding the past few seconds and watching it, how to color change. We're gonna do rounds 5 and 6, the first 6 single crochets in brown, and the last 7 in white. And I will see you when we reach the end of round 6. Okay, so we reached the end of round 6, and now we're on the final round, which is round 7, and we're gonna do that all in the brown color, and that is gonna be 1 single crochet and then a decrease, and we're gonna repeat that 4 times, and we should end the round with 1 single crochet. So 1 single crochet, decrease, 1 single crochet, decrease, 1 single crochet, decrease, 1 single crochet, decrease, 1 single crochet in that last stitch. And then you're going to want to go ahead and fasten. I just knocked my pickle deer off my desk. Go ahead and slip stitch, chain 1, cut off tails. The white one doesn't need to be nearly as long because we're not going to be sewing with it. So just cut off the brown one long enough to sew with. You'll have a couple of stragglers. And you can just tie them in a loose knot. And then poke them down inside. And that's what our tail looks like. And when we sew it on, we're going to sew it on much like the ears, but we're not really going to sew them together. We're just going to kind of bunch it up, make it kind of like a moon curve. Gotta get my pickle deer that I accidentally tossed off my desk. Okay, so I have my deer, I have my tail, and the tail's kinda, it's gonna be fun to sew on, especially mine, because I happen to have a bump right where the tail would probably go. So I have an option. I can sew it through the bump like that, or even down under the bum. Actually, that don't look too bad. That don't look too bad at all. To do it like that. It's not too low. What do you think? I can sew it below it. I could sew it to it. I don't think I could sew it above it. But it is directly from the back of the head. So I think I'm just going to sew it under it. But before I do, I'm going to move my work over to where that knot is directly at the side of my work. And I'm going to sew these two panels closed or together. I'm going to go back and forth. Oh my gosh, can you guys hear that? I am so sorry. If you can. My daughter's cat went in the heat before her spay appointment. She's been driving us all crazy. I'm just thinking any day now it'll stop. Any day now it'll stop. And life will be normal again. Okay. It is so. I sewed that little mouth closed. So now I'm gonna kind of indent it while I sew it. We're on that side. I'm just gonna sew it from front to back. Whoops. Don't get the leg caught. I'm just going to sew it from inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. Get kind of a curve. think that's going to be my last little bit that needs tied down. Yep. So I'm going to make my security knot. And then hide that tail. Throughout the body. And go ahead and cut off the excess. And then we are done. And we have our nice little, straighten the tail out a little bit. Nice. We are done. Let's take a look. So cute. Some paper fill. A wet brush will take care of that. But she's so cute. Well, I do thank you for watching my tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can even find me by searching Mama Stitches on Instagram and Facebook. I have both a Facebook group and a Facebook page. I'm on Instagram and of course YouTube. I'm also on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok. Just search up Mama Stitches. It would help me out a lot as a new social media crocheter. Yeah. So if you enjoyed making her as much as I did, she is so cute. Oh my god, I can't get over it. I don't know. I do like the darker brown. I don't know. Which one do you think's cuter? The darker brown or the lighter brown? Like I said, this one's old. And was like my original OG. I really like her. She's so cute. Anyways, tell me which one you like better, lighter brown or darker brown? I personally think the darker brown's kind of cute. Anyways, if you enjoyed my tutorial, like, comment, subscribe. And if you prefer the written pattern for her is going to be up on my Etsy store, which is Mama Stitches Goods. Go ahead and head on over there and download the PDF version of the pattern. And get on board with that. And make a whole bunch of these. Oh goodness. I'm in love. I need to make a plushie. I'm gonna make her a plushie. That's a brilliant idea. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. You have a wonderful rest of your day.